As America gears up for one of its most contentious elections in history, a storm is brewing that could shake the very foundations of the Trump campaign. In recent weeks, whispers of Donald Trump's erratic behavior, wild public statements, and seemingly deteriorating cognitive abilities have grown into a deafening roar. With the presidential election looming just weeks away, many are asking the question, is Donald Trump mentally fit to continue leading the nation? The mainstream media and political opponents have taken note of his increasingly bizarre public appearances, missteps, and contradictions. Political commentators are speculating about the president's mental state, with some suggesting that his behavior could indicate a rapid cognitive decline. Meanwhile, Trump's closest advisors and allies are frantically attempting to keep the ship afloat, but cracks in the facade are becoming impossible to ignore. In this video, we explore the latest claims, dissect the signs of mental deterioration, and what this means for Trump's re-election bid. Trump's rise and fall, a controversial path to power. Donald Trump's rise to power was nothing short of meteoric, propelled by a campaign that defied all political norms. When he announced his candidacy in 2015, few took him seriously. But Trump's combination of blunt, often inflammatory rhetoric and masterful media manipulation resonated with a large portion of the American electorate. His refusal to conform to the traditional political playbook made him both unpredictable and wildly popular among his base. However, the very traits that made Trump a political phenomenon, his brashness, disregard for decorum, and unpredictability, are now being called into question. While his supporters once celebrated his unfiltered style, it's becoming increasingly clear that there may be more at play than just his usual off-the-cuff remarks. Unraveling before our eyes. The public gaffes. In the past year, Trump's public appearances have raised eyebrows across the political spectrum. During interviews, press conferences, and rallies, there have been moments where the president seemed to lose his train of thought or struggle to articulate his points in the clear and confident manner that once characterized his speeches. One such incident occurred during an interview with Fox News' Chris Wallace in 2020, where Trump stumbled over basic facts about the U.S. economy, becoming visibly flustered when challenged on his answers. More recently, during a town hall hosted by NBC News, Trump repeatedly interrupted himself mid-sentence, jumped between topics, and at times appeared confused about the questions being asked. Observers noted that Trump appeared frustrated and disoriented, prompting even some of his staunchest supporters to question whether their candidate is still at the top of his game. Even at his famous rallies, once a place where he thrived and dominated the crowd, Trump's behavior has become more erratic. In one notable instance in Pennsylvania, he went on a 30-minute tangent about dishwashers and water pressure, leaving attendees baffled and pundits questioning whether the president had lost focus on key campaign issues. Health concerns, mounting evidence of cognitive decline. Political analysts and medical professionals alike have begun weighing in on the president's mental state. Dr. Bandy Exley, a Yale psychiatrist who has spoken out against Trump in the past, has suggested that his recent behavior could be a sign of deteriorating mental faculties. Dr. Lee points to the president's increasing difficulty staying focused during speeches and his growing tendency to lash out at perceived enemies, both real and imagined. Other medical experts have expressed concerns about Trump's refusal to release detailed medical records, especially regarding cognitive assessments. While every U.S. president undergoes periodic medical evaluations, Trump's reluctance to disclose specific details about his mental health has only fueled speculation about his cognitive decline. One of the more alarming episodes occurred during a speech in West Point, where the president appeared to have difficulty drinking water, prompting widespread media attention. Trump attempted to brush off the incident, but for many, this was a clear sign of physical and mental wear. As Trump's behavior becomes more erratic, those closest to him are scrambling to contain the fallout. Sources within the White House have anonymously reported a growing concern among senior advisors about the president's mental state. Chief of Staff Mark Meadows has reportedly been tasked with managing Trump's public appearances more carefully, while Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump are said to be working behind the scenes to limit the damage. In private, insiders say that Trump has become more isolated and volatile, lashing out at staff members and making impulsive decisions without consulting key advisors. This internal chaos has been reflected in the increasingly disorganized nature of his campaign. One former aide who requested anonymity revealed that Trump's daily briefings often devolve into incoherent rants, leaving staff members unsure how to proceed. "It's like we're on a roller coaster with no brakes," the aide said. One minute he's laser-focused, and the next, he's veering off into conspiracy theories or bizarre personal grievances. The fallout. What this means for Trump's campaign. As Election Day approaches, Trump's perceived mental decline could have serious implications for his campaign. While many of his hardcore supporters remain fiercely loyal, there are signs that undecided voters and even some Republicans are growing uneasy. Polls show that while Trump still enjoys strong support among his base, his numbers have begun to slip in key battleground states. Democrats have seized on the narrative of Trump's cognitive decline, with Joe Biden's campaign frequently making references to the president's erratic behavior. In a recent interview, Biden questioned whether Trump was fit for office, a remark that garnered widespread attention. While Trump's team has tried to turn the tables by questioning Biden's own mental fitness, the strategy appears to be backfiring. Political commentators have pointed out that, unlike Trump, Biden has been able to articulate his policies clearly and concisely during debates and public appearances, while Trump's performance has been riddled with interruptions, outbursts, and incoherent responses. Trump's own reactions, denial and defiance. True to form, Trump has not taken these criticisms lightly. In typical fashion, he has lashed out at the media and political opponents, accusing them of orchestrating a smear campaign. In a recent tweet, Trump claimed that the fake news media was trying to tear him down because they were desperate for him to lose the election. However, his defiant stance has done little to quiet the growing concerns. In fact, Trump's increasingly defensive and combative tone may be exacerbating the perception that he is not in control. His recent outbursts on social media, where he has been more active than ever, often come across as unhinged or paranoid, further feeding the narrative of his mental decline. At a rally in Florida, Trump dismissed concerns about his health as a Democrat hoax, but his fiery rhetoric failed to assuage fears among independent voters, many of whom have grown wary of the president's erratic behavior. Historical parallels. Trump and the specter of declining presidents. The concern over Trump's mental fitness brings to mind historical parallels, most notably with President Ronald Reagan. In Reagan's second term, whispers of cognitive decline began to surface, as he appeared less sharp in public appearances. After leaving office, it was revealed that Reagan had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. While the circumstances are different, the comparison is hard to ignore for many political observers. However, Reagan's presidency ended on a relatively high note, whereas Trump's situation is far more precarious. With the country deeply divided and the COVID-19 pandemic still raging, the stakes for this election could not be higher. If Trump's mental health continues to deteriorate, it could become a decisive factor in the election outcome. The bigger picture. What's at stake for America? The question of Donald Trump's mental fitness goes beyond his political future. It's a question of national security and stability. As the leader of the free world, the president's decisions have far-reaching consequences, and any sign of cognitive decline could put the nation at risk. Foreign adversaries may look to exploit any perceived weakness in the U.S. leadership, while domestic challenges, ranging from economic recovery to healthcare, require a steady hand at the helm. If Trump's mental state continues to unravel, it could lead to further instability both at home and abroad. As Election Day draws nearer, the mounting evidence of Donald Trump's cognitive decline is becoming impossible to ignore. His erratic behavior, disorganized speeches, and frequent outbursts have raised serious questions about whether he is still fit to serve as president. While his loyal supporters may dismiss these concerns, there is no denying that the issue is gaining traction in the broader electorate. For Trump, the stakes couldn't be higher. With his political future hanging in the balance, the president must find a way to dispel the growing doubts about his mental fitness. But as the evidence of his decline continues to pile up, it remains to be seen whether he can overcome this latest challenge or whether his unraveling will cost him the presidency.